Hey folks, welcome to the Ramble. I don't really have a video planned. It's not that I can't think of anything that I could make a video about, because God knows there's plenty of stuff happening in the world that would make a subject for a video. It's almost like there's a bottleneck though. There's so much going on that it's just been very difficult for me to choose one subject to make this Off Monday Ramble about. So I think what I'm going to do instead is just maybe have a look at the news, browse the Washington Post, let's say, and just maybe offer some hot takes on what's going on in the news. People love hot takes, right? Hot takes are like a thing on the internet now, so let me do that. Can I get some Steve browsing for news, stories, music, please? Just so this isn't as interminably boring as it might otherwise be. Perfect, thank you. All right, I will just open my Washington Post app because I am a subscriber, you see, to the Washington Post, because I believe in supporting quality investigative journalism. Okay, let's see. Doubling down on his base with withdrawal from Paris Accord, Trump keeps focus on his most devoted supporters. Yeah, all of his major policy initiatives so far have been targeted at making that very, very narrow group of people happy. The multiple attempts at instituting a Muslim ban, his action just a couple days ago, which this Washington Post article is primarily concerned with, beginning the process of withdrawing the United States from the Paris Climate Accord. That's all just red meat to his base, to his ultra-conservative, completely uncritical cheering section that just thinks everything he has done so far has been great. And that group is continuing to shrink as he continues to do more and more outlandish things. I mean, even a lot of people on the conservative side, which is in many ways a completely safe space for climate change deniers. It's one of the last vestiges in America where out-and-out climate change deniers can find a platform and can find supportive audiences. But even on the right, there are people who responded to Trump pulling out of the Paris Climate Accords by saying, what the hell is he doing? He's talking about pulling out of the climate accords because he wants to pander to fossil fuel industries, to old-fashioned industrial interests. Look, the coal industry is dying. The coal industry is slowly going away. Coal and oil and fossil fuels just in general are on a very gradual but undeniable trajectory toward becoming obsolete. The future is not in digging for coal or drilling for oil and finding other shit to burn to make energy. That's just not the future. The future is in clean, renewable energy and forms of manufacturing and industry that are sustainable on an environmental level. There's nothing that's going to change that. We can fight against it, as Trump clearly intends to do. We can deny that reality, as Trump clearly is doing and wants to continue doing, but nothing's going to change it. The coal industry, the oil industry are not the future. Those are not long-term good bets. The future is in renewables. The future is in solar and wind, and Trump can pretend that that's not so all he wants to pander to his base and say, you coal miners, you're the forgotten people, I'm with you. But there's no future in that. And everybody except him and the people outside of his bubble know that. Anyway, let's move on to another story, shall we? Can I get some more browsing the news music, please? Excellent. Let me see. President Trump believes the climate is changing. I already kind of talked about that. Oh, Bill Maher faces calls for firing after using N-word on HBO show. This looks promising. So yeah, on the most recent episode of Real Time on HBO this past Friday, Bill Maher casually dropped the N-bomb. He jokingly referred to himself as a house N-word, and he has since apologized. He released a statement through his publicist the next day saying it was an offensive word and he's very sorry that he said it. And good for him for apologizing. People are saying that he should be fired. There is far less tolerance for that sort of thing now than there has been for quite some time. And personally, I think that's a good thing. I don't think we should be tripping over ourselves to make space for white folks to say racial slurs. I can't help but defer to my black friends and black voices online and in the media that I listen to. And the most common take on this, and when things like this happen from time to time, seems to be black folks wondering why us white folks are so determined to find ways of saying that word that black folks will be okay with. And I was in that position not all that long ago. I was one of those white folks until relatively recently that thought, well, yeah, I understand why it's a bad word and we shouldn't say it, but when I say it, I only say it in this particular situation, and I don't see what the problem is when I say it that way. And I finally realized, I can get along without saying it at all. And when a word is that loaded with offense and hatred and sadness and history and death and discrimination and oppression and brutalization, I mean, there's a lot loaded onto that word. That word has a legacy that is unmatched by any other word in our culture. And when anyone says it, particularly a white person, no matter what our intentions may be, no matter what the context in which we are saying that word, when a white person's lips speak that word, there's a lot of stuff that happens that doesn't need to happen. And I used to be kind of a language purist, and I used to say, we're all adults, and if we're going to talk about the word, then we should be able to say it, and if I'm going to talk about it, I should be able to pronounce the word. And I don't know, I think I've just gotten past that, so I'm not going to say it. Now, should Bill Maher be fired for saying it? I don't know. It's not up to me, because I'm not the one who is being attacked and demeaned by that word. I'm not the one who who feels his humanity being rejected and questioned when someone says that word. That's not for me to say. Let's move on, shall we? Let's find another story here. Let's move from the entertainment section back to the opinion section of the Post. Let's see what we have here. Oh, Trump called out the Manchester terrorists. What about the one in Portland? That's an excellent question. Colbert I. King, opinion writer for the Washington Post, an excellent question. Trump is very quick to call out Islamic terrorism, right? And when a radical Islamist kills somebody in the name of their religion, Trump is right on top of it, because I truly believe he thinks every time he says the phrase radical Islamic terrorism, a jihadist loses his wings. I think Trump just believes that's how it works. I think the entirety of his plan to defeat ISIS in 30 days was to just stand in front of the mirror every night and say radical Islamic terrorism and then spin around 3 times. I think he's probably done that every night before he goes to bed. And then he picks up his phone and he dials the Pentagon and he's like, is ISIS gone? And they're like, no, sir, ISIS is still there. We will give you updates on ISIS as we have them, okay? All right, let me know. I'm going to do it again tomorrow. I think that was his plan. That's why it was never released, because there are enough semi-competent people around Trump that they realize we can't let people see this. This is bad. Why is it that Trump is so eager to jump on Islamist terror, but he is reluctant to even mention the existence of radical white supremacist Christian terror, which is a much more immediate threat to people living in the United States and always has been? And it goes back to what we began the video with, I think. He panders to his base. Trump isn't going to jump all over white supremacist terrorism and call it by its name and demand that something be done and call out the existence of white domestic terrorism that is driven by racism and resentment toward Muslims. He's not going to call that out because those are his base. He's not going to say anything to piss off those people and alienate those people, because those are the people he's trying to energize and rally by attacking the radical Islamists in the first place. It's us versus them, and to Trump, us means him and all those white supremacists who hate Muslims. Who do you think he was trying to garner applause from when he put out not 1 but 2 attempts at a Muslim ban? It wasn't people like me. It was people like them. It was white supremacists. It was the people in the red Make America Great Again hats It was the people who hold up signs that said, "Trump that bitch." Those are his people. Those are his base. Those are the only people he cares about. Those are the only people he knows how to talk to. And those are the people he is talking to. Because if they follow him on Twitter, they damn sure don't follow the POTUS account. That's boring. They follow the real Donald Trump account. That's where the good stuff is. That's where the red meat comes from. That's where he panders to his base of racist white people. That's what he did when he pulled out of the Paris Climate Accords. That's what he did when he called out the Manchester attacks, but was tellingly silent about the Portland attack. Hey, you know what? Let's call that a video. That's it. Fuck it. That's good. I think I've talked enough about random news stories that I happen to encounter in the Washington Post. This was a lot of fun. I should do this again sometime. Next time I can't think of an idea for a video. Give me the music. Play me out. Play me out with the music. That's good. That's nice. See you next time, everybody. Thanks for watching. Hey folks, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And also please consider helping me to make more videos like this one by supporting this channel through Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/Steve Shives to become a patron. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.